Golf World Scandal. Fans say Charlie Woods cheated the amateur system with a secret $3 million payout. This isn't clickbait. It is the most explosive controversy to hit amateur golf in decades. A 17-year-old kid, carrying the most famous last name in the sport, has been valued at $3 million while still being called an amateur. The fans are furious. The system is breaking. And the real question is, did Charlie Woods actually do anything wrong, or is the entire amateur golf system the one that's cheating? Regular golf fans are grinding at their local munis, saving up for a new driver, struggling to break 90. Yet this kid, who can't even crack the top 25 in USGA events, is supposedly worth $3 million? While Miles Russell, the actual #1 ranked junior in the country, the kid who's actually winning everything, is valued at $1 million, Charlie Woods finished dead last in a tournament this year, 31 shots behind the winner. 31 shots, and he's worth 3 times more than the best junior golfer on the planet. It is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in this sport, proving that in 2026, your last name matters more than your scorecard. But look past the anger for a second. Charlie Woods isn't some greedy kid trying to game the system. He's a 17-year-old who never asked for any of this. The $3 million isn't even money he's received. It's something called a market valuation, a website made up based on his name, his social media, and his potential. Not his actual earnings, not a secret payment, just a number. And here's where it gets interesting. That number, that imaginary $3 million price tag, has exposed a broken system that the USGA and the R&A have no idea how to fix. Let me show you what's really going on here, and why this scandal says more about golf's crumbling rules than it does about Charlie Woods. Personally, I don't think Charlie cheated anything, but I do think the amateur system is letting everyone down. Do you agree, or do you think he's getting away with something? Drop your take below. And if you're tired of golf media missing the real story, you're in the right place. Subscribe so you don't miss what comes next. Now, let's talk about the kid at the center of all this. His name is Charlie Woods. He is 17 years old. And yes, that last name is exactly who you think it is. He is the son of Tiger Woods, the greatest golfer who ever lived. But Charlie is not his father. Not yet, maybe not ever. And that is where this story begins. Charlie has been in the spotlight since before he could walk. By the age of 3, he was swinging plastic clubs on national television. By the time he was 12, he was hitting shots that made grown men shake their heads. He learned the game from a father who won 15 majors and changed golf forever. That kind of upbringing comes with expectations. Because here is something people don't talk about enough. Charlie Woods has a target on his back that has nothing to do with his golf swing. Every tournament he plays, every shot he hits, every score he posts, it's all compared to what his father did at the same age. And that comparison is impossible. Tiger Woods was winning junior events by double digits when he was Charlie's age. Tiger was the best amateur in the world at 17. Tiger was already a household name. Charlie is not that. He is just a kid trying to find his own way. In February of 2026, Charlie made a decision that surprised a lot of people. He committed to Florida State University. He chose Florida State. He said he wanted to build his own path. He signed with a management company called Players Group, and he started wearing Sunday Red, his father's new apparel brand. And then, in the middle of 2026, something happened that changed everything. A website released a list, a ranking of the most valuable amateur golfers in the country. At the top of that list, with a number that made everyone's jaw drop, was Charlie Woods, $3 million. Now, you might be thinking, okay, so he's making money. What's the big deal? But here's where it gets complicated. Because that $3 million number, what if I told you it wasn't real? What if I told you it wasn't money he had received? What if I told you it was something entirely different? Something that has never happened in amateur golf before? That's where the real story begins. $3 million on paper, but what does that number actually mean? You're about to find out. So what exactly is this valuation thing? To understand that, you have to understand how NIL works. NIL stands for Name, Image, and Likeness. Back in 2021, the NCAA changed the rules. For the first time ever, Student athletes could make money from their own name and brand. They could sign deals. They could sell autographs. They could appear in commercials. And they could still keep their amateur status. The idea was simple. College sports were making billions of dollars off these kids. The players deserved a piece of the pie. It was supposed to be fair. It was supposed to be about opportunity. But nobody, and I mean nobody, predicted what would happen next. Fast forward to 2026. A website called Golf NIL started tracking the market value of amateur golfers. They built a model. They looked at performance, social media followers, media exposure, sponsorship potential, and a bunch of other factors. And they assigned a dollar amount to every player they tracked. It was like a stock market for amateur golfers, and at the top of that market, with a valuation of $3 million, was Charlie Woods. But here is the part that nobody talks about. Golf NIL does not pay any of this money. They don't write checks. They don't broker deals. They just make estimates. It's like when a real estate website tells you your house is worth $500,000. That doesn't mean someone is going to hand you that money tomorrow. It just means the market thinks your house is worth that much. The second name on that list was Kai Trump. Yes, that Trump. She is Donald Trump's granddaughter. She is also 17 years old, and her valuation was $2.25 million. So Kai has more than 50 times the followers Charlie has, but her valuation is still lower. $2.25 million compared to Charlie's $3 million. Why? Because the market values the Woods name more than the Trump name. That is not a political statement. That is just a fact. And it tells you everything you need to know about how this system works. One name beats 50 times the followers. That's the power of Tiger's shadow. And then there is the third name on that list, Miles Russell. Now, if you follow junior golf, you already know who Miles Russell is. He is the #1 ranked junior golfer in the country. He is, by every measurable standard, the best junior golfer on the planet right now. His valuation on that same Golf NIL list, $1 million. Let me repeat that, $1 million. 1/3 of what Charlie Woods was valued at. Even though Russell has actually beaten Charlie head-to-head in multiple tournaments. Even though Russell has a better ranking. Even though Russell has better results. Even though Russell has done everything you could possibly ask a junior golfer to do, he is worth 1/3 of Charlie Woods. Now, before you start throwing things at your screen, and believe me, I get it, let me explain what I think is actually happening here. Because this is not about race. This is not about politics. This is not about any of the things people want to make it about. This is about one thing and one thing only, the last name. Charlie Woods is not being valued for his golf game. He is being valued for his father's legacy. The market is not betting on Charlie's swing. The market is betting on Tiger's son. It is the most straightforward example of inherited value you will ever see in sports. And the crazy part, Charlie never asked for any of it. Let's take a closer look at Charlie's actual performance in 2026, because this is where the data gets brutal. He played 7 tournaments this year. His best finish was 19th place at the Junior Orange Bowl International. In every other tournament, he finished outside the top 25. At the AJGA Simplify Boys Championship, he shot 81, 80, and 74. That's 235 total. He finished dead last, 31 shots behind the winner, 31 in a single tournament. A kid who can't break the top 25 is worth $3 million. Something doesn't add up. And here is where it gets even more uncomfortable. Charlie's world amateur ranking is 797th. Out of every amateur golfer in the world, he is ranked number 797. Miles Russell, by comparison, is ranked 5th. 5th in the entire world. And he is valued at 1/3 of Charlie's number. It makes absolutely no sense, unless you accept the fact that the valuation is not based on golf. It is based on a name. Now, some people will tell you that this is just how the market works. They will say that NIL is about popularity, not performance. They will say that brands want attention, and the Woods name gets attention. And they are not wrong. But here is the problem. Amateur golf is supposed to be a meritocracy. It is supposed to be about who plays the best golf. It is supposed to be about fair competition. When the market starts assigning more value to a last name than to actual performance, the entire system breaks down. And that is exactly what is happening right now. But the controversy did not start with a website. It did not start with a list. It started on a golf course in Pennsylvania, on a hot July day, in front of hundreds of people who had come to watch the best junior golfers in the country compete in the U.S. Junior Amateur Championship. Charlie Woods was playing at Saucon Valley Country Club. He had shot 76 in the first round and 70 in the second. That put him at 5 over par. He was tied for 63rd place. Charlie was on the first playoff hole. It was a par 5. He hit a good drive. He hit a good second shot. The ball ended up in the rough, about 25 yards from the green. He had a chance. He could get up and down for birdie. He could earn a spot in match play. He could keep his tournament alive. He addressed the ball. He started his backswing. And then, in the middle of his swing, a fan's cell phone clicked. The camera shutter sound, right in the middle of his downswing. Charlie flinched. He hit a terrible chip. The ball barely reached the edge of the green. He missed his putt. He made bogey. He was eliminated. His tournament was over. And as he walked off the green, he said 2 words that would be heard around the golf world. Really, dude? A camera click cost him his tournament. But that's not what made fans angry. Now, here is where it gets complicated. Because the reaction to that moment was not sympathy. It was not understanding. It was not compassion for a 17-year-old kid who just had his tournament ruined by an idiot with a phone. The reaction was disgust. And it was not because of what Charlie said. It was because of who he is. One fan wrote, "Tiger's dad would have yelled at him for letting a camera affect him. He used to throw balls and coins at Tiger during his swing to teach him focus." Another wrote, "If you want to be a professional, you have to learn to block out noise. A camera click is nothing." Another wrote, "I'm already tired of this kid's excuses. What happens when there are thousands of people around him?" It was brutal, it was relentless, and it missed the point entirely. Because Charlie Woods is not his father. He is a 17-year-old kid who had a bad break in a high-pressure situation. He said 2 words that any of us would have said, and the entire golf world turned on him for it. But here is the part that nobody is talking about. The rules of golf explicitly prohibit distractions during a player's swing. That fan should not have taken a picture. Charlie had every right to be frustrated. The fact that he only said, "Really, dude," shows more restraint than most people would have shown. But nobody wanted to hear that. Because when your name is Woods, you don't get the benefit of the doubt. You don't get sympathy. You get judgment. He said 2 words. The internet exploded. That's the cost of carrying a legend's name. Now, let me take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Because this story is not really about Charlie Woods. It is about what the Woods name represents in 2026. It is about a system that has completely lost its way. It is about amateur golf pretending to be something it is not anymore. The USGA and the R&A have a problem. They have a rule book that says amateur golfers cannot accept money for playing golf. That is the foundation of amateur status. It is what separates the weekend warriors from the professionals. It is supposed to preserve the purity of the game, but NIL has blown that foundation to pieces. Because now, a 17-year-old kid can have a $3 million market valuation and still call himself an amateur. He can have a management company. He can have sponsorship deals. He can have all the trappings of a professional golfer, and the USGA will still let him compete in their tournaments as an amateur. It makes no sense. It is completely contradictory. The USGA says you cannot accept money to play golf, but they also say you can make money from your name, image, and likeness. And the USGA has not done anything to fix it. And this is not just about Charlie Woods. This is about every junior golfer who has ever dreamed of playing in a USGA event. This is about the kids who have worked their entire lives to get a chance to compete on the biggest stage. This is about the integrity of the game itself. When a 17-year-old kid can have a $3 million valuation and still be called an amateur, the word amateur has lost all meaning. $3 million, 0 major wins, 0 top 10 finishes, and the USGA says nothing. Let me tell you about Miles Russell again, because he is the real tragedy in this story. Miles Russell is the best junior golfer in the country. He has won everything. He has proven himself on every stage. He is the kid that every college coach wants. He is the kid that every brand should want. And the market is telling him that he is worth 1/3 of a kid who can't break the top 25. That is not just unfair. That is destructive. Imagine you are Miles Russell. You have worked your entire life to be the best. You have won tournaments that Charlie Woods can only dream of winning. And you open up a website and see that a kid with a famous last name is worth 3 times more than you. What does that do to your motivation? What does that do to your belief in the system? The NIL system was supposed to create opportunity. It was supposed to reward performance. It was supposed to make things fairer. Instead, it has created a situation where your last name matters more than your scorecard. It has turned amateur golf into a popularity contest, and it is destroying the very thing that made the game special. Now, let me be clear about something. Charlie Woods did not create this system. He did not ask for the $3 million valuation. He did not ask to be compared to his father. He did not ask for any of this. He is just a kid who happens to have the most famous last name in golf history, and he is paying the price for it. Every tournament he plays, every shot he hits, every word he says is scrutinized. He cannot win. If he plays well, people say he is only getting attention because of his dad. If he plays poorly, people say he is a disappointment. There is no middle ground. There is no escape. The system has failed Charlie Woods. It has failed Miles Russell. It has failed every junior golfer who just wants to compete on a level playing field. And the USGA and the R&A are doing nothing about it. They are hiding behind outdated rules. They are pretending that NIL does not exist. They are hoping that the problem will just go away. But it is not going away. It is getting worse. And the next Charlie Woods is already out there, waiting for his turn. So let me ask you a question. Who is really cheating here? Is it Charlie Woods, a kid who did nothing wrong except be born into a famous family? Or is it the system itself? A system that values names over performance. A system that lets kids sign sponsorship deals while pretending they are amateurs. A system that is too afraid to make the tough decisions. The rules haven't changed in decades. The world has. That's the real scandal. The USGA and the R&A need to make a choice. They need to decide what amateur golf means in the NIL era. They can either embrace the new reality and create a clear set of rules that everyone understands, or they can keep pretending that nothing has changed and watch the integrity of the game erode in real time. There is no third option. You cannot have a system that allows $3 million valuations and still calls people amateurs. You cannot have a system that lets kids sign sponsorships and pretend they are playing for the love of the game. You cannot have it both ways. And if they do not make a choice soon, the fans will make it for them. Fans are already furious. They are already skeptical. They are already losing faith in the system. And once that faith is gone, it is almost impossible to get it back. And it is happening to golf right now. Charlie Woods will go to Florida State in 2027. He will play college golf. He will have a chance to prove himself on a bigger stage. He will have a chance to earn the respect that the market has already given him. But he will never escape the shadow of his father. Not completely. That is the price of being born a Woods. As for the system, it is going to get worse before it gets better. More kids will be valued at ridiculous amounts. More fans will be outraged. More controversies will erupt. And the USGA and the R&A will keep pretending that everything is fine until one day they will not be able to pretend anymore, and then they will have to act. But by then, it may be too late. The legacy of this scandal is not about Charlie Woods. It is not about Miles Russell. It is not even about the $3 million. It is about something much bigger. It is about the definition of amateur golf itself. And that definition is changing, whether we like it or not. The only question is whether the people in charge will change with it, or whether they will be left behind. The system is broken. The question is, who's going to fix it? Let me leave you with this. Charlie Woods did not cheat. He did not take a secret payment. He did not break any rules. He is just a kid who happens to have a famous father and an internet valuation that he never asked for. The real scandal is not what Charlie did. The real scandal is a system that allows a 17-year-old kid to be valued at $3 million and still be called an amateur. The real scandal is a system that values names over performance. The real scandal is a system that is too afraid to change with the times. And the real scandal is that nobody in charge seems to care. Personally, I think the amateur system is broken beyond repair, and I think it is only going to get worse before anyone does anything about it. Do you agree, or do you think I am overreacting? Drop your take in the comments. And if you want to know what happens next in this story, and trust me, there is a lot more coming, you know what to do. Subscribe, hit that notification bell, and stay tuned. This story is far from over.